where expert advice meets everything you need to grow. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Grow Your Garden with Sal, for even more tips and tutorials. Let's dig in and get your garden growing. Here's Sal.
Hey everybody, welcome in today on this rainy day. It is January here in Columbia, South Carolina, and I'm here with Michael Frank.
Señor Frank, sí, buenos días a todos.
And Josh. Hey Josh, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Sal?
I'm doing fantastic. And today, of course, I'm Sal with Grow Your Garden with Sal, and we're going to talk all about gardening. And today at my store, I have a store in North Columbia, and we're going to be teaching Actually, Sherry is going to be teaching us how to cook and serve sunchokes, which has been a big question that we've had over the last 3 weeks.
Good stuff.
Will there be free taste testing? Because I'm interested.
Yes, definitely. And if you want to sign up, you can go to growyourgardenwithsal.com.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. Yes. And if you don't want to sign up online, come in the store. It's $25 to actually take a jar home with you. And it's $10.
Free to sample?
Huh?
Free to sample?
Free to sample, yeah. We'll have free to sample, yes, and $10 to audit. So yeah, come in. It's going to be indoors in our greenhouse, so you won't melt.
And if you have an issue getting to the greenhouse, I'll give you a little drive down there.
Yeah.
I'll if you're worried about the mud and all that, I'll make sure to give you a drive.
What do you call that when you pick somebody up?
Valet or
valet
service.
Yes, we got valet
Sal's.
service at Sal's
Now
today.
it sells.
With the one and only Josh. He'll put.
I don't think that's what you want on your Saturday morning, but
It'll be a great muddy ride. I can see him sloshing around it, but it is going to be a lot of fun. We got about 6 people signed up so far, so come on down. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, not too big, and we should have a good time and learn how to cook. That you can't ever. It's one thing learning how to grow your stuff, but learning how to cook it is important too. Because I don't know, I'd want to make sunchokes without learning anything. So
Right, you got to know how to eat it.
Yeah,
cook it.
exactly. And sunchokes are kind of a little bit like eggplants where they get mushy real quick. So it is a certain way you have to prepare it so
Kind of have to eat them fresh. You don't want to leave them in the fridge for a long time.
No, they don't last. I tell people, first of all, a sunchoke is a native sunflower that's got a tubular that you can eat. And you can harvest when the tops die around December due to frost. If you don't harvest them at the right time, then they do. They're called fartichokes, right?
That's right. Don't want to pick them too early.
Yeah, don't pick them too early.
and for people like me, you can't get those in the store, right? They don't really have sunchokes in the store, and
Not usually. Not most grocery stores.
Yeah, they don't store very well. They as soon as they come out of the soil, they start deteriorating.
Okay.
They just start turning back into dirt from dirt. Yeah, what is
Right,
it? Ashes
so-
to ashes, dirt to dirt.
Yeah, dust to dust, yep.
Dust to dust. It's So I tell people when they get them, or if they're planting them, harvest them as you need them. Don't go out there and dig them all up. Or if you do want to harvest them all, put them in a bucket and put some dirt on top of them and keep them somewhere where it's 40 degrees.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if they stay covered, they'll last.
Yeah, they store best right where they grew.
And you brought me some interesting sunchokes a few weeks ago that were kind of longer. And I've been doing some research and had a guy that comes in there, actually from North Carolina, that grows fields and fields and fields of sunchokes. And he said that he thinks it's a cross between a regular sunflower and a sunchoke. They will cross-pollinate and then make a longer root.
Interesting.
Now,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did the research because you just mentioned that and I couldn't remember the name of that variety I gave you. So,
Well, he did. He said it was a hybrid. So, whether it's
That's
on
cool.
purpose or whether it might be a whole different variety, but he was looking at
I
it.
think it was on purpose. I mean, I actually got those tubers. I saw somebody distributing those tubers at the Organic Growers School up in Mars Hill in March. And he said that they developed that so that it's easier to clean them. They're not as knobby. You can just scrub the dirt off, and it's just a little more convenient.
Yeah.
I can't tell you about the flavor, if it's different, better, worse, but it's just a neat variety.
The sunchoke root that's the hardest part is cleaning, and Sherry's going to fire me because I didn't realize I needed to soak the sunchokes overnight because some of the recipes say 30 minutes, some say an hour. I was thinking it was more to get it ready to prepare for pickling, but apparently it was to get
to clean them.
To clean them. So we're gonna have a big old, instead of a fish cleaning party, we're going to have a sunchoke cleaning party before.
I've heard one of the tricks of the trade, one of the secrets in terms of cleaning, if for some of the small farmers, they'll take a pressure washer and just put them in a basket and blast them really good and
you
turn
do
them
have
over
to be
to get
careful
all that
because
dirt off.
they get a little mushy.
Yeah, you could rip some of the skin off, I guess.
So, hey, y'all, we're in the studio live right now, and if you want to call in, it's 803-799-8255. Again, that's 803-799-8255. And we're coming out of January and going into February, and a lot of people are asking right now, what can you plant, and is it too soon to start your seedlings? And we sometimes have different opinions. So you
right. Well, for one thing, I've got that question myself, and for all of our listeners, if you could do me a favor, go ahead on the comments and let us know at the Meadow Glen Elementary School garden, like, what do you suggest we grow for the spring? We had some aphids just wipe out our kale and our kale and cabbage and what else? Oh, collards. We have hardly any left. So, we're looking for something that'll produce, especially leafy greens, just for the spring before we go right into the summer. Normally, I'd have that stuff all established. It would be producing. We'd let it produce up until the spring, and we'd just immediately wipe it out and reset with summer things. But the thing is, it is coming up. I mean, it's time. Yep. I always tell people, prepare early. If you don't have a garden yet, don't wait until May.
No.
Like, get to digging now.
Get that soil healthy. Get that compost in.
Yeah. Come get your black cow and work it into the soil so that you are ready.
And no topsoil.
Yeah.
Please do not get topsoil. Topsoil is not garden soil. It's just what they pull out the side of the road.
So, I mean, is there a option, like, can you get, what type of, if I'm going to start a garden, what kind of soil should I get from, let's just say I go to Lowe's. Is there a good option there?
Of course, come to Sal's, but if you have to go to Lowe's, the compost, I like the Black Cow brand, go name brand. Some of the cow compost in there, when you look at it, it's like $3 a bag, but when you actually look at the back, it's got like so much topsoil and then a few pounds of the black cow, not black cow, but cow manure. So really watch that bag for the topsoil. I tell people stay away from a certain bag that's very commercial because it's not organic. It's not living soil. You want living soil.
So just like our nutrition, we should read the ingredients in that soil. That soil, we're feeding our soil. All those amendments. So know what's in your amendments. What do you think about a mushroom compost, by the way?
I do. I like mushroom just as much as black cow. I personally don't use as much mushroom because I break out from handling it.
But everybody does.
But not everybody does.
I've used it.
Yeah, I've never known anybody else to do it. I'm not opposed to that. And also using your own compost. And, y'all, we're going to take a break here in just a second. Our phone number is 803-799-8255. And if you want to sign up for that garden class, either give us a call or go online, growyourgardenwithsal.com, and you can also order seeds off of there.
Absolutely. It's time. You got to plant it out and get those seeds early so you can get them in the ground.
Welcome back in. I'm here with Senor Frank and Josh, the new and up-and-coming homesteader.
I don't know about that. You put that on the website, but I don't know if I can agree with that. I appreciate the compliment that I'm at least trying, but...
That is all you got to do is start with a try.
Listen, I don't know about a homestead. I know about a tractor and some land.
Yes.
That's all I know about. Maybe some...
You're halfway there.
More than some onions.
Maybe some strawberries. I don't know, something.
Ooh. Yeah, and that gets into what we can grow and come up in February. So we were first talking about the seedlings we could start.
Right.
Yeah, but Josh got super excited about the strawberries, which I love growing strawberries. They're so beautiful to grow.
Yeah, we... I have some family that lives out of town, and we would always go down to Georgia and pick strawberries. There was a huge strawberry farm, and I mean, like acres. I mean, it was huge. It was just strawberries, and
it was a lot of fun, isn't it?
it was a lot of fun. It was just really cool because you just go around and find the good ones. And there's not really bad ones, but
our school, they always do trips. Certain grade levels go to a few of the local strawberry farms and pick, and but then when they see that we've grown strawberries at the school, it's just so cool so that they can see it's right there and they can just grab a snack. I mean, those little finger food items you can get out of the garden are important in a school garden. They just grab it, wash it, maybe not wash it, honestly. I mean, if it's...
And what's so great about, there's a downside of planting strawberries in your backyard because you expect them to look like the big, beautiful commercial stuff.
Right.
And in our climate, and without, like, the commercial people pretty much dig them up and they have to go through a cold and then get replanted. So theirs is pretty much what they call June bearing, even though, they are ready before June. We call them June bearing. It's kind of like tomato plants have got a determinant, which means when they're going to put on all the fruit.
They produce all at once, and then the plant pretty much gives up.
And then the indeterminate, where they're going to put on here and there and here and there.
And they'll continue right through the frost.
Yes, and pretty much any if you went out to the big strawberry farms and you picked, and then after that season you planted that strawberry, is pretty much going to turn into a indeterminate and keep putting on, but it's going to be a lot smaller. So one thing I like about the backyard strawberries is we could plant them now. You can get strawberries going into all the way up until it gets hot. You could shade them out because they don't like the high heat. They don't like cold. They don't like hot, but they're not going to die in cold.
We've got ours actually planted like strategically behind a big bushy peach tree. And the peach tree is on the southern side.
It gives it a lot
so
of shade.
Shades the entire bed of strawberries, so it's ideal. We don't have to water them a whole lot in the summer, but they do appreciate some water. I mean, especially in the heat of South Carolina, just to get them through the summer.
But the worst thing you can do is water too much. Yeah, and we've got a great video on YouTube, Grow Your Garden with Sal, with Dondi Mercer when she came out to the farm and helped us demonstrate planting strawberries. So that's one really fun crop in February to plant. Also, potatoes are my most favorite crop.
I wanted to mention, so we grabbed a few seed potatoes recently at Meadow Glen Elementary School, and we're doing a process that's called chitting, chitting. Be careful with that term, but anyway, that's the term. When you chit a potato, you take a seed potato, you find the eyes, and you cut it into chunks. The chunks are called chits. And when you do that, you want to leave those two chits or three chits or however many have eyes on them. There's the little chunk with an eye growing. Each piece will grow into a plant, and you leave it sitting out in the air to dry up the wounded part, the part that's wet.
Almost to make a scab, but it's not really a scab. It just hardens it off a little bit.
So the bacteria can't get in there and rot that piece of potato. And the kids are helping me do this, and they know how this works. So next week at our garden club meeting, we're going to put them in a bag of soil, and we're going to put them in a dark place, and you can get your potatoes to start growing a month in advance, like before it's time to put them in the ground.
Because they don't like frost. The frost will kill the tops of them, and it won't kill the actual plant or the bulb.
But they'll come back, right?
And they will come back, but it's kind of, it's better to go ahead.
Down a little bit, but
get them started.
By chitting them and starting that root system indoors, it really gives you a jump on the season, and your plant gets bigger and stronger and produces a whole lot more potatoes when it's time to put those potatoes on.
And a lot of people ask, because I plant mine whole. I don't cut them, and the reason why people started cutting them way back when is because you were eating those potatoes too. So you'd cut the part out you would eat, but then keep the eye part too. So then you had both. You had, and then you'd save that. And sometimes they'd save the whole potatoes too. It depends on how hungry you are.
Makes sense. I just do it because I'm a poor teacher and I want to grow as many potatoes as possible.
So yeah. And we need to do that challenge one time. I've done it in the past, so it'd be so I won't tell you the results. But cutting them, and then also planting some whole potatoes, and then seeing which one you get more of a harvest from.
That's a great idea.
I think that would be great, and it would be great if you did it at the same place because you have the same soil, same conditions. It might not be the same if I did mine here and you did there. But yeah, if anybody wants to try that, that'll be a fun garden challenge.
One of those natural experiments you set up in the garden. It's hands-on science. It's the kind of things we like to do at school gardens. So
it gets the kids thinking. Yeah, get some just not reading directions, but also thinking about things. So yeah.
And also, if I could speak to our teacher friends out there.
Yeah. If real quick, if you didn't know, Michael Frank is the go-to for this for school gardens. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's got if you have any questions, and even if you have not started a school garden yet, you can start in a pew. Yeah, get in touch with.
I've got resources for you. I'll share seeds. We'll find you soil.
We'll do everything you can. Yeah.
Help you get started. But this week at our garden club meeting, we did a lesson on seed catalogs. I mean, it's the most wonderful time of the year. The seed catalogs are coming in. The kids want to see all these crazy varieties of vegetables and things. Mm-hmm. But there's really important skills that your kids need to learn, that everybody needs to learn when you're a gardener. And I find that one of my best teaching tools is a seed catalog called Wild Seed Farm. They're based in Texas, and it's the largest wildflower farm in the country. Their catalog has all the details. It's got a color-coded hardiness zone map of the United States. It's got a description of what is an annual, a biennial, and a perennial plant. It's got, for each seed variety, how many seeds you get per ounce, and that can be really exciting for the kids when they find out that there's like 30,000 yarrow seeds or something like that per ounce. And there's so many things you can do with that. So if you're
they're learning math, they're learning science, they're learning culture.
It's hands-on. It's engaging. So I've got this file that if you are an educator, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to share it with you. And one of the coolest parts of this catalog is that for each variety, they have a little inset picture on the description of the plant that has a picture of the actual seedling and a scale for how big the seedling will be after like 40 days or something. And so you can scatter these seeds in the garden and go out there, and the kids can like look at that picture and identify which plant in the garden is a seedling they want to save versus
and not the weeds.
And that will save you. It's really frustrating when a kid goes out there. I mean, they're going to do it anyway, but you got to train them what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, if you're an educator or anybody that would like access to this file for themselves, it's got great questions about the zones and different temperatures, and specific to South Carolina too.
So how did they get in touch? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go for it.
How did they get in touch with you?
If you email me, it's mfrank@lexington1.net, and the 1 is the numeral 1.
Okay, cool deal.
The question everybody wants to know: how much is your file?
Oh, it's absolutely free. See, that's the low price of free.
That's the great thing about most of the things we do here at Sales Farm and the show. 90% of our knowledge is free, and I mean, pretty much all of our knowledge is free. A lot of it is just having people out or whatever. But
and teaching to grow.
You just got to meet those people. I mean,
we do have to sell some seeds and some plants, to keep the farm going. But definitely come out, and it's very hands-on. We have volunteer days on Wednesday. This Wednesday is going to be very cold. So bundle up. We're probably not going to be doing anything outside.
Yeah, we're planning. I think there's planning to be some snow. Well, I don't know. Last week was not very much, but we're thinking, I'm not thinking, the weather people, I guess, are expecting some snow on Tuesday and Wednesday, so it's going to be pretty cold.
So if the kids are listening, I can't promise, guys, but you probably won't have school Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, you're making a scary prediction.
It's not a promise.
If it's no snow, they're going to blame. They're going to blame you. Oh my gosh.
You always blame me, Yankee.
if it's snowing, no volunteer day. There's also a chance to volunteer at the Big Red Barn Veteran Retreat Thursdays too.
Yeah, you got to comment on our YouTube channel if you want to comment, and if you don't feel comfortable calling in, which we understand, but we'd like for you to call in. If you want to comment on our YouTube, Grow Your Garden with Sal Facebook as well. question that just came in. How can the community best help with our school gardens?
I'm so glad you asked that. I actually just recently met Jose Ortiz. He's been a co-host of Sal's on the show.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I found out that he is a custodian at Meadow Glen Middle School, which is right next to my elementary school. Now, I have been waiting for this man. I consider him to be the gardening Yoda that will pick up the training of my little gardening Padawans from the elementary school and continue their training to being gardening Jedi at the middle school. And we're going to be putting in about 250 square feet of gardens.
Ooh.
We would welcome community volunteers.
Yeah.
Come on out. You can learn from us. Jose is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, it's amazing. And the coolest thing about what's happened with Jose and I, we are, I don't know, Vulcan mind meld. Let's go with another sci-fi, image here. I came up with the idea of planting pigeon peas after seeing something on Facebook, because they have deep tap roots. We're going to be establishing these gardens, and those deep tap roots will get down deep into the soil, break it up, help till it for us. Plus, they're peas, which means they're legumes, which mean they're nitrogen fixers.
Yes, and we got to have nitrogen to grow, right?
Puerto Rico. Jose's from Puerto Rico.
He's got some real fun. Yeah,
are really important in his culture.
And hey, we'll be right back and talk more about pigeon peas. Everybody, welcome back in, and we have a question.
Sorry, yes we do. I was not expecting you to get to it that fast. Question, which is not really something that is entertaining to most folks, but will there be a video of today's Sunchuck cooking class?
I think everybody listening to the show is definitely going to be interested in watching that video, and I have a top-notch famous producer, Josh. A-lister Josh is coming.
Famous.
And he's going to be, videotaping it for us.
We were just talking during the break about the whole library of things. I'm going to rent... If you weren't listening last week, there at the Richland Library, there is this, what they call library of things, where you can rent everything from lawn tools to gardening tools, seeds, all these different things. And I was thinking about going to go get a gimbal. Like to hold your phone stable.
Oh, that would be nice.
And so you can rent those there. And
that's
so I was thinking
neat.
about that. But yeah, I have another topic of the week. Give me just a second. I'm going to go to the next microphone.
Uh-oh.
Sal, have you seen the video of the chickens as a gimbal? They put a video camera on their head and they put them on a speedboat, and then they show the video, and it's perfectly stable because the chicken moves its head. Well, anyway.
Oh man!
All right, so my topic, not really a topic of the week, but we were talking also during the break about I was walking into Walmart, but they have these big displays. They've always had them years, but for years they've had them. But these big displays for the seeds, and we've got them for many years when we've gotten just random things. Whatever it is, I'm sure they have them at Lowe's. I'm sure they have these seed displays everywhere.
Everywhere you go, even the dollar store.
Oh, yeah. So I want to first off say, I'm looking here at Walmart. I guess they sell them online as well. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess since we're talking about, I don't know, we'll look at this right here. I just clicked on a link.
Yeah.
50 sunflower seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
How much do you think they are?
50 sunflower seeds?
Just 50 seeds.
Oh, man. I would say from Walmart, probably maybe $4.50?
$10.
$10? They're only $2 at Sal's, and we sell the ones that grow around here, where Walmart's going to be selling stuff that you don't know if it's something that's going to grow better with the cooler temperatures, better with the hotter, drier,
That's true.
wetter.
They distribute those seed packets across the country.
Across the country.
They're
And
not
they're all in
And-
trucks and these sealed up, and they're
Yeah, exactly.
probably in these warm temperatures. You don't know if they're going to be good, if they're going to work. You don't know that any seeds are going to work,
No.
but there's a good chance that it's
gonna
better
get
at
hot.
Sal's, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as price goes, even on the lower end packets of seeds, the cheaper ones, we did a experiment or did some math years ago in our garden club, where it was like a $2 pack of, There was a $2 pack of sugar snap peas at Walmart. And when we did the math and converted grams to ounces and figured out how much that packet of seeds, the amount of seeds in there, would cost if we bought enough packets of seeds to make a pound, it was something like $22 a pound, where at Sal's they were way
like
cheaper.
$5 a pound.
Yeah, at the time they were $5 a pound.
Also, you can come in there and you can talk to me, you can talk to Michael Frank, you could talk to all kind of different people that's very, very knowledgeable and tell you how to plant. Another problem that those seeds have is it seems like when you turn around to the back, everything tells you to plant after the first frost, when the ground's normally not warm enough. Here in South Carolina, and then it also would tell you to bury everything an inch. Like, just about everything's an inch, and you're like, that's...
Yeah, so it's one thing about the price. The price is much better at Sal's Farm.
Yeah, we get them in bulk, too. Like, we get, like, 50 pounds of stuff, so,
And she uses them. It's not just, like, some random person, some random... associate, I guess they call them at Walmart, but it's not just some random person selling it to you. It's the team at Sal's Farm, and it's so much well taken care of. They're in a room that's cool.
45 degrees.
Yeah, and that's probably nice to walk into after a nice day outside. I haven't known Sal very long, but I haven't been to her farm during the summer. When I do, I think that room is going to be the first place I go.
Everybody hides out.
There, huh?
If I have to find somebody, it's usually because they're in that room. We made a seed locker, so we did a closet. We already had a closet in this building, but we put the real thick insulation all around, and then hooked up a cool bot to the air conditioner, which overrides it to bring the AC down to 45. So it's actually doesn't run a lot of electricity. We didn't have to have a major upgrade in cooling, and the CoolBot I think was like about $380.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
is it just one air conditioner?
Just one small air conditioner.
And you insulate the room, though, right?
Yeah,
did you mention
everything.
Yeah.
Everything's insulated, and I would say the room's probably about maybe 5 foot by maybe 10. Yeah, so it is
like
crowded.
A DIY walk-in
and
refrigerator.
If anybody has some organization skills, because I don't, come out and organize my seeds, please.
Well, we got two things.
Josh could do that.
Yeah.
I could not do that. Do not ever ask me to organize anything. You should see my room at home. My house in general. Well, my house is fine.
Oh,
my
your
room,
mom's going to get you.
Anyways, question on here again on YouTube. If you want to text in on there, YouTube, Grow Your Garden with Sal, Facebook, Grow Your Garden with Sal. If you want to call in.
Yeah. 803-799-8255.
Anyways, Mumbo Jr. Mumbo Jr. says, is it too late to plant sunchokes? If not, when is too late?
No, it's absolutely not. Now's the time to get them in the ground. You need to get them in the ground before the ground warms, because they don't transplant well. Somebody else may have had that skill, but they do not transplant well. So while the ground is dormant, while it's cold, dormant for summer things, that's when you need to plant them. And it's very important to know that they're probably not going to come up till about mid-May when the ground gets really hot. Mm-hmm. It's a hot weather crop. So, yeah, good question.
And they're tough, so don't give up on them. Just wait till they sprout.
And they definitely sound tough. When we got a surprise call.
Oh.
You probably won't be too happy about this. Snuffy.
Oh,
the
hey,
infamous Snuffy calls in.
Good morning. Good morning. One thing I wanted to mention about the seeds at Sal's is they're checked twice a year by the agriculture department to be sure they will germinate and everything's okay about them. It's not like she buys a bunch of seeds and puts them in her cold room and they sit there forever.
That's a good point.
The agriculture department comes out and takes a sample of each of her seeds and checks it for its, what's the word, Sally? Germination?
Germination, yeah. So they get about a pound of seed, and then they take 100 seeds out, and then how many sprouts is pretty much. So if, thank you, Pop, so much. Yeah, so when, excuse me. So I can buy some seeds, and it could say 95% germination rate on the bag. We mark everything as 85%. That's because if something happens at the lab and it falls under that 96%, you'll get fined.
Wow.
Yeah, and then normally the supplier actually get fined, but we'll be put on notice. So it's pretty serious. So we mark everything 85%, but it's really literally like in the 90s.
And they don't do that at Walmart. They don't go take a packet off the shelf and test it.
Well, it's
They
supposed
could
to
be there
have
for
a
years.
germination test. Yeah, it's supposed to have a germination test on it, but once it's packet, they're not coming back in there to check it. So if it was on that hot truck, or in a humid area.
I've seen them left outside all
Yeah,
summer long, and then they
left
sell them again in the
outside.
fall.
Most likely,
They're baked.
they're not selling a whole display worth every year
No.
at Walmart. So they're probably putting it in the back and
Yeah.
then bringing it back out next year.
Yeah.
So you don't know how long those seeds in the back sit there. And
Also, if they have a certain lot number on there, so we have a lot number, the germination test, the noxious. There's a lot of tests in there. And so if they have the same lot number from the supplier, no matter how much they stored it, if that lot number passes germination, then they can just stick another sticker on that bag. Doesn't really mean that seed, because of the way it was stored, is still going to have that same germination. So when they come out to us, they're pulling it from the big bag. It's not pulling it from something that was, packaged and sitting there for 6 months.
we say this obviously to tell you that
Come to Sal's.
come to Sal's. But even then, there's not a 100% chance that your seeds are going to grow. But
We
that's
troubleshoot, though.
right. We troubleshoot, and like I said, Walmart doesn't have that. I'm sure
No.
there's some
That
customer
local
service
knowledge.
number you can call, but you can't get local
No. I could
local
see
knowledge
you.
like that.
We should probably do that one episode. Just call Walmart and just see how long it takes on hold to ask them about some seeds.
And they won't say
doubt
anything.
we'll get anywhere.
I don't know. We'll probably get a couple foul lange. We might have to
Exactly.
bleep it out, but
I might get another cease and desist letter from a supplier. Or a big store. We don't want that.
so today we have a class.
Yes. So this is on cooking sunchokes, and I'll go over also the bear, how you plant it, what it is. So, but a lot of people that's common's already got their sunchokes. We'll have them here too. So if you're interested, please come by. It's 12 to 1. The class is $25, and to audit's $10. You can sign up online at growyourgardenwithsal.com. And next week we've got a seed starting class. So that's going to be really exciting, because Michael Frank was talking about the aphid's got his fall crops. Usually he's continuing his fall crops now into the summer, and then when it's getting
Switching
warm,
over to the
switching
tomatoes
over.
and peppers and eggplants.
And from my background and the farmers around me, we do a fall and a spring garden. So we're going to take a break here just in a minute, but when we come back, we're going to talk about like when to start your peppers. Is it too late to plant greens? I've gotten calls all week about that. Like, it's too late to plant. It's too late. No, it's not. We've got 4 months of cooler weather, and then it gets hot.
And there's always next year.
And it's always next year.
There's
No,
always
do
next
not
year.
wait till next year.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if it's too far, don't waste your seeds.
No, and also
Right.
there's several seasons too. So you can plant your cool weather stuff for pretty much 6 months, and then you depending on what it is, and then your hot weather stuff, a lot of that you could get at least 3 harvests, out of. So we'll talk about that when we come back. If you have a question, 803-799-8255. Again, that's 803-799-8255. And hey, welcome back. We've got a few questions. So this has come in from Joshua McClam. When you plant an onion bulb, what do you do with the greens that grow out of it? The greens are almost the best part, isn't it? I love cutting them and using them as chives, and you can freeze them and throw them in your different salsas, and they'll keep growing back to a point, until it gets really hot. Now, you might not have as big of a bulb if you cut over and over again. But onions you can pretty much eat at any size.
I usually just grow them for green onions. I'll space them 2 to 3 inches apart and just pack them into a bed, putting those sets in there.
They're so
and they're
good.
quick. They're really quick. You just pull a handful out and cut them up into your eggs or in a stir fry. They're delicious.
And all parts of the onion, of course, get the wrap,
Take the
what I
root
call
part
the
off,
the root and the wrapper, but all parts of the onion are edible. And he had another question, and does that bulb grow into a full onion if it's the right amount of space and pot? Well, if you're cutting off the greens, it's probably not going to get as big.
Right.
But onions are, pretty cheap. You get a lot for like $5. So, you can do both. Have some that you cut the greens off of, and then have some that's going to, you can get bigger.
And wouldn't you say, like, if you do want them to bulb up and form full-size roots, now's pretty much the time, or coming up, like mid-February?
You need to hurry up and get them in. Definitely if you had the fall ones, you've got long hours for like about 2 months, a month and a half, and then you got long hours again. So, but that's a long, and if you want a big onion, that's really good. Extra fertilizer really helps.
With the days getting longer, it's going to help those onions size up.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but a lot of the stuff that you grow at your house, it turns out really small. It doesn't turn out how you get it at the store, which is, it tastes better, but it's smaller.
Because they're not hitting it for those chemicals
right.
and making it like,
right.
Is there a natural way to do it at home to make it, I want big onions, big peppers.
Onions actually need a good bit of nitrogen, not too much nitrogen. Nitrogen's the first digit, but it needs, a lot of people go right to potash for any root, which is the N, but onions need a balanced fertilizer. Going organic's fine. Adding the extra nitrogen to it, so blood meal. But you got to be real careful because it still doesn't, I would say, don't need no more than about 7%, 6% nitrogen.
So there are ways to make your...
Yeah.
There are, maybe, would it taste the same? You think it'd still have that good taste?
I think organic
better.
it would, and a lot better.
Yes.
Well, I think, it's just, it doesn't really appeal to me when... you have just such small, things.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, some people don't care about that. But to me, when I want a big yellow onion, I want a big yellow onion. I don't want a bunch
big
of...
old,
right.
yeah.
Well, you're growing smaller onions, but they're tender, they're tastier, Go
and you
ahead
can
and
grow
get
more
the
in
store-bought onions for your big ones. And there is kind of an exception, though, I feel. The yellow Granax are a short-day onion, I believe.
It is. They do grow quicker. I found, though...
And I've had them size up. I mean,
You had
not
them
to
size
the
up?
size of, a Spanish onion that's the size of a softball, but, a decent size, close to a baseball. And yellow Granax, I mean, we're not allowed to call them Vidalia onions, but that is the variety. It's only, they can say it's a Vidalia if it's made in or grown in Vidalia County, Georgia,
You're
and
getting
a
us
few
in trouble
surrounding
again.
counties.
No, I'm just kidding.
But it's technically it's just a yellow Granax.
Yeah.
And you can get the same quality onion. It's the same onion. You just grow it in your backyard.
And they do cost a little bit more per pound, and a lot of
worth
people
it.
around here, if you want a big onion, that's definitely the way to go. A lot of people around here more like the spring onion, just a taste of that one. I want my onion to be like not super, super sweet, but like we were having this argument about a discussion about the sunchokes, because a lot of people put sugar in there, and cinnamon. And I'm like,
in the pickles.
Well,
yes, I
it's
want
not just about
garlic
onions. I
and-
mean, it's about like everything. I mean, it tastes, like I said, I've said this 4 or 5 times, right? It tastes better, but it's smaller. But I think that's the you were just saying that's like
That's the trade-off.
The
that's the
trade-off,
trade-off,
right.
and there's stuff you can do about it, but it's
Well,
obviously more difficult.
The other beauty about adding onions to your garden is, again, you can pack them in there 2 inches apart in close rows and have a block of them where you're picking them over a long season. Not to mention, they deter insects. They deter the ones that attack your other stuff. So it's good. Like sometimes in my raised beds, I'll put like 2 rows really close together right around the perimeter. So it's kind of like setting up a little block for insects that want to get through that and into my say, brassicas, my broccoli and my cauliflower and kale, that kind of thing.
And be real careful not to water too much. They do need some water, maybe depending on the heat, inch,
they should have good drainage.
Yeah. Now, rainwater is okay because it's got the nitrogen in it. It's growing. It's pretty much food and water at the same time.
All right, plants of the week. Senior Frank.
Well, we were going to talk about potatoes. And
we don't have time
we
to
kind of
talk.
did.
We kind of talked about
we
potatoes.
mentioned chitting your potatoes early. So,
we had
we'll
potato
put
talk.
a link.
We had a potato talk. And we will have potatoes kits coming up that you can purchase on our website or in store. Or you can just come get potatoes. Not quite yet.
Yeah, we
They're
have
not in yet.
We have about 4 minutes left. But
Okay.
I want to talk about... Sorry, I don't mean to take over. I want to talk about what you have coming up here at the farm.
Yeah.
And so today we have the sunchoke class, cooking the sunchokes. That will be posted
With
on
Sherry.
YouTube.
Yep.
Obviously, you don't get to take home anything if you watch it on YouTube.
And that's the best part, to be able to eat it.
That and to get hands-on experience. That's why it costs $10 to watch in person.
Yeah.
It's free online.
Yeah.
But you don't get that hands-on. You don't get to ask questions. You can write in the comments.
Yeah.
If we answer, we'll try our best. But that's where you get in person. But we have that online.
Yeah.
What's next week?
Next week is a seed starting class. And some of the greens can be grown together without any spacing, and then some you're going to need to space. And we've got a really cool technique to get the greens started without them getting leggy. You can get them started a little earlier. So come out and you can audit that one for $10, or you can actually get our greens growing kit that comes with the seeds and the directions for $35 with the class. So very, very affordable. You get to bring home about 8 different types of seeds. You got all the directions.
Any other classes that you have coming up after that? Anything planned?
We're waiting for the potatoes, so we're going to have a potato class. We're going to have an onion class. So we're having all kind of classes.
That's great. And there's we already have a bunch of resources on YouTube and Facebook. If you have any questions, ask Sal, call Sal, sign up for Sal's mailing list. That has a lot of important
Super
stuff.
important.
We got to mention my favorite place to get a steak, H&J Cattle.
Yes, if we wouldn't even have a show without them because they're so awesome. They're sponsoring our show, H&J Cattle, and it's HandJCattleCompany.com. And my sister just got like a ton of meat from them. My mom bought for Christmas.
So good. If obviously a lot of people don't know this, they came in here to the studio one morning and cooked a feast. It was amazing, and it's just local. We've talked about local a lot here at the Point, but
we do. And you got to watch that video on YouTube because we put it up. It's not like a live,
really
but
good food.
it's funny.
It's really good. They have really good meats and very ethical, and
yes.
Is that a word? Ethical?
Yeah, ethically raised.
And not pumped.
Definitely.
Yep, not pumped full of stuff that's going to make them grow real quick just to have them
by
out.
the planet too. They're
Grow your
taking
garden
care of
with
their land.
Sorry, growyourgardenwithsal.com is where you can find Sal and all of her stuff.
Yay!
Grow Your Garden with Sal, YouTube and Facebook.
Yes, so definitely check us out. Come out. We support our local farms too. So if you're a new and upcoming farmer, come out, visit with us, talk with us. It's a lot of fun. And make sure you get signed up for the VIP hours too. That's pretty cool when you come in and make a purchase.
What's a VIP hour? I've never heard of that.
That means you get in our exclusive text message group, which
I don't think I'm in that.
You don't think you're not? Oh, well, you know.
I'm not
You're
VIP.
the VIP,
okay.
VIP.
That's right. I'll turn off all the microphones.
This is
We'll
very
leave for,
new.
I was going to say.
But you actually get notifications pretty much when we have a class. We don't blow you up. We just give you some notifications, and then there will be extra hours, especially on Sundays during the summertime that, I might be a little short-staffed, but I send out text saying, hey, we've got this right now from 1 to 3. Come on down. So it's not official business hours, but then you get to get into the know and actually get to come and shop.
Yeah, it's really cool what you have going on down there at the farm. What's the address?
Yes, 113 Hilltop Drive, Columbia, South Carolina. We've got seeds. Not a whole lot of produce right now. We do have sunchokes, but we've got all your seeds, so come out and get that. Come to the sunchoke class. We also have eggs, so that's a lot of fun. And some of our eggs were helicoptered all the way to Atlanta for a special party.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
If you are in the city downtown for Soda City maybe this morning, you can stop by and audit the class.
Yeah, come by and see.
Right.
What time's the class from?
It's 12 to 1. And if you want to show up early, you can help me dig up more sunchokes and clean them up.
Can I make a quick comment about your seeds? In the school garden this year, we planted a few different varieties of broccoli. I think there was Bell Star Green Giant, Purple Sprouting, Piracicaba. And as much as I liked Piracicaba, it was great, but your broccoli seeds produced the absolutely best broccoli we've ever grown.
Woo,
so
we got
come
the
to
best
Sal's,
seeds, yes.
get those seeds.
Thank you so much, and see you at the store.